So you should have your practice test for Unit 7 out and ready to follow along. The first thing you should have done is written your first name, your last name, and your date. So let's get started with the first question. It's asking us, number 1, draw arrows to show the directions of force. So we're looking at the directions of force. The first one says lifting the bunch of keys. So when you lift, you're going from the bottom to the top. You're pulling up. So your arrow should be going up. Now go ahead and draw it to the side. That way we can clearly see the direction of force. It should be pointing up, or if you're thinking about a compass or your cardinal directions, remember you have north, south, west, and east. It should be pointing north. It's a little bonus for you. Next, we're sliding the book away. We're sliding the book away from us. Now, notice the book is on our left side and our hand is on the right. So we're on the right, the book is on our left, and we're sliding it away from us. So your arrow should be going from the hand to the left, to the book. Again, draw it above the picture, that way we can clearly see your arrow, all right? So from right to left. So those are how your arrow should look for the first question. Let's go on to the next one, which is all about money. Now you all know Miss Noel came up with a little song for that, which I love. Right now we're just working on dimes, nickels, and pennies. So let's start with this one. Now if you look, it's a little bit tougher because your test is in black and white, not in color. So you have to really pay attention to those details. Let's start with our dimes over here. See if I can make it even bigger. All right, so let's take a look at that. So for your dimes, you'll notice that this is the head of actually Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was the 32nd U.S. president. He doesn't have a beard, and he also doesn't have a ponytail. And in the middle is a torch, which holds fire. This is actually fire. And then on the left is an olive branch, and on the right is an oak branch. There we go. So left is an olive branch, on the right is an oak branch. So whenever you see a dime, it's going to be the smallest penny. You're going to see a man who was our president, Franklin D. Roosevelt, without a ponytail, without a beard, and you'll always see flowers, like flowers, fire, no beard. That's how I want you all to remember that. So it's small, and the verse for that is, a dime is the smallest and it's worth 10 cents. There we go. So that's your dime. Now let's move on to the next one. Our next one, those are nickels, and notice how it's bigger, so I have to actually shrink it a little bit. So nickels, and this is the ponytail fella who lived in Monticello. That's how I like to remember it. So this person right here is actually Thomas Jefferson. He was the 3rd president, and he has a little ponytail. You can see back in the olden days, during that time, men actually wore ponytails. They had really long hair, and he has his in a ponytail. So that's Thomas Jefferson. And on the back of the coin, the tail side, you have Monticello, which is his home in Virginia. And over here, you can actually see it says 5 cents. So you have a nickel at home. See if you can actually read that. It says 5 cents. See if you can read the other markings and engravings on the coin. See if you can read them. Last but not least, we have Mr. Abraham Lincoln. His head is actually facing in the other direction from the other presidents. So notice that. That's a very good observation. This is Abraham Lincoln. He was the 16th president of the United States, and he has a beard. So we have our ponytail fella who lived in Monticello. We have our no beard, no ponytail with fire and flowers. And now we have our penny. So a penny is copper and it's worth 1 cent. And here, I think of the man with the beard behind bars. These aren't bars. This isn't a jail. It's actually President Lincoln's memorial, which is in Washington, D.C. So some pennies have this memorial like this, and it was worth 1 cent, as it says here. And some actually have different designs, like the Union Shield. So let's go back, and we know that a penny is copper, and it's worth 1 cent. The nickel's a little bigger, and it's worth 5 cents. And a dime is the smallest, and it's worth 10. Let's see how we can count this. So dimes are worth 10 cents, so we should count by tens. A nickel is a little bigger, and it's worth 5 cents, so we'll count by fives. And when we get here, we'll count by ones because pennies are worth 1 cent. So let's count all together. Count along with me if you can. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101. So this is altogether, these coins are worth 101 cents. Now, if you want to know what that is in dollars, that's $1.01. That's how that would look. But this should be your answer, 101 cents. All right. I think that was our last. Oh, yep. Number 3 is going to be our last question on this page. It's all about comparing numbers. Comparing numbers. When you're comparing something, when you're comparing and contrasting, you're looking at the differences between these two numbers. Here we're comparing using our comparison symbols. Remember that the alligator always eats the bigger number. So this right here on our left is our less than sign. Less than. In the middle is the equal to. Good job. Equal to. And on the right is our greater than. Good job. Greater than. So let's take a look. The first thing you do when you're comparing numbers is look to see if they have the same number of digits. So let's see. This is 115. How many digits does it have? 1, 2, 3. Good job. And this is 151. And this has 1, 2, 3 digits. All right, so we know that they're the same number of digits. So if the number has more digits than the other one, it's going to be greater. If it has fewer digits than the other one, it's going to be less than. But now if it has the same, now we need to go from left to right to compare. So we start here, in the hundreds place. Both numbers have a 1. So now we need to move on to the next one. We have the tens place, a 1 here and a 5 here. So we know that 1 is less than 5, so this number, 115, has to be less than 151. All right, that was our first time doing that, so let's try it on this side. So let's see, these are both 4-digit numbers because they have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits. It goes up to the thousands place. Now let's see if we remember how to do this. You start looking at the thousands place. Both numbers have a 2, so we're gonna go next to the hundreds place. Good job. Both numbers have a 6, so now we need to go over to the tens place. We found our first difference. There's a 1 in the tens place here and a 0 in the tens place here. So this number is greater than 2,613 is greater than 2,603. Good job. Let's take a look at this one. I think this one is easy peasy for you all. This number is 160, and this number is also 160. Since both numbers are the same, they are equal to. All right, and last one. This tripped some of you all up, so let's pay attention to this. First, we check if they have the same number of digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we need to start with the first number on the left, which is in the thousands place. Let's see, they both have a 1 in the thousands place. So now let's go to the hundreds. They both have a 1 in the hundreds place. So now we go to the tens. Let's look at the tens place. There's a difference. We have a 1 in the hundreds place here, but a 2 in the hundreds place here. And since 1 is less than 2, we know that this is going to be less than. So let's read it together. 1,114 is less than 1,122. All right, I hope you got those answers. And if you didn't, I hope you understand where you went wrong.